Good journey, everyone. Welcome to Space Oats Live. I am the Crucial Crew member, Jay, and we are going to talk a lot about the new Lego Star Wars series that just came out last week. I hope everybody's watched it. The first four episodes. I'm assuming the first four. I mean, you never know. You never know nowadays. We have this series that could continue, and then all of a sudden it gets canceled. Not getting into anything like that, but we're going to talk a lot about Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. So hope everybody's watched those four episodes. They were fantastic. And we also have a really cool announcement. Somebody got their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, well deserved, and we'll talk a little bit about that in case you didn't hear about that. Couple weeks away from HalcyCon. HalcyCon is the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser convention, first of its kind. That'll be coming up in a little bit next month, beginning of next month. And can't wait for that. I got some cool stuff, everything that I'm going to wear and bring for fun to hand out. All came this past week, so it's been a blast getting all that. And I got to finish the one shirt that I'm going to wear at least one day. Got to get that ready because I got a patch I got to put on, but the rest of it, and then I just got to iron it out because it came and it's got all the wrinkles, the folds, all the good stuff. But yeah, so but first things first, little segment that I like to do on YouTube now. I have jumped it over to YouTube, so I do it live every day to some people's not being. I didn't get anybody harping on me at all for doing it on Instagram, because I have it on my hands-free device while I'm driving to work, but I don't look at the camera. I always keep my eyes forward, and I talk about something Star Wars. And that's a little segment called Not Long Ago in This Galaxy. But when I flipped it over to YouTube, which I do it on YouTube now, so if you're watching this a little bit later, I go live pretty much every day that I'm driving to work, and I talk about some Star Wars history. So we're going to start that off today, something that happened in Star Wars history not long ago in this galaxy. September 18th, 2013. At least that's what I'm pretty sure of, because everywhere I look online, it says September 18th, 2013. But there was one photo that I found, advertisement, that said September 19th. So kind of confusing as to why that was. But anyway, does anybody know what was released? If you look at any of my social media, you would have known already because I posted it not too long ago. But yeah, so let's see here. What happened? Let's make this a little bit bigger, huh? Shall we? And also, I do not like that look, so let's do this. There we go. Ooh, I'm off camera. Let me move over this way a little bit here. Anyway, so everybody remember Angry Birds? Honestly, I don't even remember when Angry Birds just went away. But I was a big fan of Angry Birds. It was the first mobile device handheld game that I really got into and I really love to play. Thank you for joining, whoever's joined in. If you're an Angry Birds Star Wars fan or an Angry Birds fan, you remember this. Happened September the 18th, 2013 was the release date of Star Wars Angry Birds, or Angry Birds Star Wars 2. So the second in the series, there were three. They did an episode 3, but episode 2, again developed by Rovio Entertainment. I just had a lot of fun playing. I remembered playing the first one big time. I played the first one all the way through. Second one, started getting bored of it. Third one, I don't even, maybe once or twice I downloaded it, played it a little bit, but by that time I was kind of Angry Birded out. But maybe you played it. It got released a little bit later, about a month later on PC, October 24th of that same year. And then ended up closing down March of 2020. Um, so pretty much all across all platforms, including Windows and Mac operating system. So you could pretty much play it anywhere. If you were a fan of Angry Birds, Star Wars, it kind of had two different timelines going on there because it did have the prequel storylines. So kind of taking place from like 32 to 19 before the Battle of Yavin, and then it had the sequel timeline stuff going on from actually like actually it was all it was all prequel. I thought it was some sequel stuff. I guess it was all. Oh, that's right. It was prequel and Rebels. That's right. It was prequel, and this one was had the Rebels in there. That's right. So it had those like the 5 to 4 years before the Battle of Yavin, because that's when like Rebels was starting. So you did get some Rebels action in there. I remember that now. Yeah. So the first one was all like original trilogy. Second one, you got into the prequels and the Rebels series, which was a lot of fun. So, yeah, it was pretty popular. I mean, I remember again a lot of things going to the whole Rebels part of it. I don't remember too much, but now that I'm thinking back, I do remember a little bit of some of the characters with there. Um, you could play the Republic side, but you could also do the Pork side, which was obviously a parody of the dark side. And then so that was always fun to be able to do either side. You could choose which side you wanted to be on. So, but a lot of fun with those games, the pigs and the birds and everything, and cool fun chapters involved with that. Some of the bosses, because you always had like those bosses. You had Count Dooku, um, which was fun, and then if you played as the Avian Republic, or if you played on the Pork side, you had Amidala's ship as the big boss, or Kenobi or Kanan Jarrus, which was so much fun. But yeah, they had, man, they had, it was released September 18th. You had in May of 2014, they released an update with 44 levels and new game effects. So it had a lot of different things involved in this game. And then with its closure, they had a message published early February 2020 that that game and also all of the other Angry Birds games that were available at the time were going to close. Um, and it was going to be removed from the in March 2020. It was going to be removed from the app stores. Support ended up still going through all the way till the end of that year of 2020. Yeah, so it's been down for almost 5 years. Well, almost 4 years now. Almost 4 years now. Almost 5 years. 4.5 years. March of next year it'll be 5 years. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I thought that was a great parody game. I don't know what your favorite little side game is. I would still think that I think kind of my fan. I haven't really played them in a really long time, but Galaxy of Heroes I think is still my favorite like mobile Star Wars game. Honestly, um, I don't know. Maybe Republic Commando. That was a fun one. You know, those build games like build your. But yeah, I really am not a big fan of games on your mobile devices. It just takes up a lot of space. It just don't. I like my devices running very fast and smooth and things like that. So, but by the way, I'm having a little bit of tequila tonight, but I'm having it in a glass that I was given. I don't really think I can get it, but it's Cabe's Oasis from Miss Holly Fry. She gave me these glasses when we went to visit Cabe's Oasis Cantina um, in during Dragon Con. Got to visit her. So her and Brian. So thank you, Holly, for this wonderful glass. First time I'm using it. Love it. We'll cherish it, and it's a great way to be able to continue to have some drinks and still have some Star Wars as I'm sipping here. Um, but yeah, so Lego Star Wars Angry Birds Star Wars 2 not Lego Star Wars. So Angry Birds Star Wars 2. I got Lego in my mind. Released again today, September the 18th, 2013. Yes. That is your Not Long Ago in This Galaxy. Again, catch me doing this each and every day on YouTube, going live. You can also revisit some of those past segments on my YouTube channel here, the Crucial Crew Member. You can watch some of the past ones under the Not Long Ago in This Galaxy playlist. I've only had like a week's worth here on YouTube. And also I do post in my stories on Instagram, but they go away. Everything on Instagram goes away. But here it stays. It stays on YouTube forever. Well, at least as much as forever might be. But yeah. So let's start talking about my favorite thing that's happened in this last week. That being Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. What fun is this? Huh? What fun is this? And I'm just going to put this out here real quick, just in case anybody joins in. But because we'll talk about this a little bit later. What was your favorite Easter egg in Rebuild the Galaxy? But what fun this series is. I think out of all the Lego Star Wars series, this is definitely one of the best. And if I was any fan, I probably would say it is the best so far, because it is pretty dang good. But because I'm a former crew member on the Halcyon, Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation will forever probably be my top favorite, unless they ever do anything Lego with the Halcyon ever again. But I don't think so. So I'm going to say that will always be my top favorite Star Wars Lego parody series, is that one, the Summer Vacation one. It was, and that one was a really good one too. But this is a really good story. First 4 episodes dropped last week, last Friday. If you didn't realize it, well, Thursday night. So I watched them Friday morning. Got them on right now as well. Just came across the scene with one of my favorite Easter eggs, because you had the clones, and the clones are Mon Calamari, which is really great. Pokey Hampter, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. First time, I think. Appreciate it. Welcome to Space Oats Live, a Star Wars podcast. Appreciate you joining in. Talking about Rebuild the Galaxy, that came out last week. And all the little fun things that we have in there. But it was really, really good times to see like some of our favorites come back from just all over, because they really revisited pretty much every character, from the prequels to the Young Jedi Adventures, to the original trilogy, to the sequel trilogy, Mandalorian, all these different shows kind of thrown together. There was a lot of interesting characters missing, but I'm sure that this is going to continue, because it did leave us with it left us off with a big cliffhanger, kind of getting into the Mandalorian and Grogu, which you knew was going to show up. I was really surprised, and then all of a sudden, boom. So, we're going to get a lot of Mandalorian Grogu, I'm sure, coming out of the next one. But some other characters missing that I was really, really surprised about, and also very disappointed, because my favorite character, R2-D2, nowhere in sight. What? How can you not have R2-D2 show up? So I'm hoping R2-D2 comes in a big way. Awesome. Watch Rebuild a Galaxy. Love to hear that. Darth Jar Jar. Love Darth Jar Jar, because that's one of those things that I love, how Lego can just have all these. It's obviously a parody, and I love how Lego took, can take these fan theories, because that Darth Jar Jar thing was a big fan theory. Darth Jar Jar being the mastermind throughout the Phantom Menace, big fan theory, big thrown out there. I was not on that bandwagon at all, but hilarious. Thought it was funny. It was good to laugh at, and it was so fun to see Darth Jar Jar show up in this series as one of the big bads, or the group of the big bads, come out with the all the dark Jedi characters that everybody who we know were light side characters. which one of them was my favorite Easter eggs, but we'll talk about that a little bit later when I get into my favorite Easter eggs at the end here. But yeah, Darth Jar Jar, and voiced by Ahmad Best, coming back to do the voice, really great. I love how Ahmad Best has had this rejuvenation. All right, thank you for joining. I love how Ahmad Best has had this rejuvenation within the Star Wars. You know, he got so much slack for Jar Jar Binks, and I think everybody's kind of grown to love Jar Jar Binks. I've always kind of had this little place with Jar Jar Binks that I um, love the character. I thought he's a great character, especially for what George Lucas trying to do with Star Wars. Always bringing new generations into the Star Wars fold, and I think Jar Jar does that because I remembered watching The Phantom Menace with my nephew, and then he continued to be a Star Wars fan just like I did. So I respect that, and I love how Ahmed Best has gotten some love a little bit more in now, and coming back as Kellen Beck, um, which is really cool. Seeing him play that character in The Mandalorian, in those flashbacks, and then of course now we have him come back as Jar Jar Binks again, voicing that character in Lego Rebuild the Galaxy. Hopefully, we'll see more of Darth Jar Jar at some point, but we'll have to see about that. But really, really fun being able to watch this series so far. It's been a lot of fun to watch that series, and we had a lot of really cool, interesting, fun cast within this series. The three like main characters, which we end up kind of following their adventure together, are these four characters here actually. But it kind of starts off with in the normal galaxy before everything kind of goes disarray. We have this character. And my cat's going crazy in the other room. So hopefully they don't break anything and I don't have to run out of here, by the way. But anyway, these characters, Sig and Dev, who are brothers and are Nerf herders, which is fun. I love how Nerf herders are making a comeback. Young Jedi Adventures, Lego Star Wars, Nerf herding seems like a, a profession that has become something prominent in the galaxy now. But their own Finessa, and Finessa actually is a Nerf herding planet, according to certain Star Wars lore. I can't remember where that was mentioned, but the writers kind of threw that in there, which was pretty awesome to be able to do that. But so Sig and Dev, when the galaxy is kind of like thrown into disarray and rebuilt, Dev ends up becoming a bad guy. And Darth Devastator, I think he calls himself. And then Sig ends up being part of this adventure, and he's on the good side there. So he's in the back there. He meets Jedi Bob, which he finds in the temple where the cornerstone is taken away. So Jedi Bob kind of helps mentor Sig, who is force sensitive but has no training, and kind of really just brushes off that he has force powers in the beginning of the series. But Jedi Bob kind of becomes his master in a way, and ends up helping to assist to train Sig in along this adventure. So Jedi Bob, really cool. Bobby Moynihan actually voices the Jedi Bob character, and then we have Yessi, who is originally on Finessa as well, and is a friend of Sig and Dev's. She ends up not remembering because anybody who was not in the temple when the cornerstone was pulled does not remember the previous galaxy. So the only people that remember are Sig, Jedi Bob, possibly Dev a little bit. Don't really know how much Dev actually remembers. And then the droid, which we actually do see in this little bit of clip here that I have up on the screen. What was the droid? I think I can't remember the droid's name now. I thought I wrote it down. I may not have wrote it down. But I love the droid. The droid's great, and then especially when Sig actually rebuilds him and he starts talking is when it really gets fun. But a Gonk droid that actually speaks, love it. I would love to see. I can't wait to see more of the series. Honestly, I really, really hope that that it does continue. I don't know how many episodes they possibly plan to make, how many seasons they plan to do, but it seems like it's going to be a fun series to continue. So, but a lot of fun being in that. Mark Hamill returns playing Luke Skywalker. He was actually a consultant on the series. If you read the credits, so it was fun to have him back as Luke Skywalker in a totally different light. Other actors rejoining the cast. Rose Tico, actually, the actor Kelly Marie Tran voiced Darth Tico in the series, and D. Bradley Baker chimes in as Darth Nubs, and Anthony Daniels channels his dark side to play a bounty hunter version of C-3PO with the red eyes, which was fun to be able to see that as well. So great times. We've got all sorts of fun things within this episode, and I hope if you haven't watched it, definitely try to watch it. Lots of Easter eggs. Let's talk about those Easter eggs. So the Darth Jar Jar was Pokehamter's favorite Easter egg in the series here. So that was probably, I would think, probably going to be one of the most obvious answers for a lot of people, being Darth Jar Jar. But there were a lot of fun Easter eggs in this, and just like too many to count. I mean, I literally can look up at the screen, watch, and catch something almost immediately, with all the different vehicles and the changing of the vehicles. Like, I'm literally watching a gunship go to ATST gunship and then go to a quad jumper, getting chased by X fighters, which is a cross between the X-Wings and the TIE fighters. All sorts of fun things with the ships and the different changes from good side to bad side, the bad side to good side. All sorts of cool, fun things within that as well. There were a couple Easter eggs listed on StarWars.com as far as some of the main highlights. And I loved, in the beginning, Sig likes to tell stories. He's a storyteller. And he is got some little kids around the campfire on Finessa, and he starts talking about the most epic story ever told. He kind of is reviewing the events in Return of the Jedi, basically, and he talks about the Wookiees, the towering Wookiees, were the creatures who helped the rebellion during the Battle of Endor, which was the original intent of George Lucas. So that's a really cool nod back to that. We know that it was switched to the Ewoks, but that mistake reflects upon that early draft from George Lucas, and it kind of foreshadows some things to come a little bit later. So a lot of cool, fun things within that. But let's see here. Let's go to one of my, well, I'm going to skip that one right now. So the Lego history has some Easter eggs as far as thrown in there. because there's a couple different things with the history of the Lego group. Sig Griebling is Sig's full name, and that kind of has a twofold reference. Um, and I can't remember what that was. Um, Hold on a minute. I'm not big on Lego, so I wrote that down just because I was like, oh, that's really cool. Oh yeah, that's right, the Greeblies, for Greebling, but signature figure for Sig, signature figure for Sig, which they were minifigs basically, built to represent a mini version of their maker. And then Greebling was the term in the Lego world to describe adding small Lego parts to a surface to add to its visual appeal. Also, Greeblies, which we know is basically how ILM was using small parts on model kits, basically to make like the surface of the Death Star and all sorts of things. The Millennium Falcon, like the outsides of the ships and all that good stuff. So that's another little nod to that as well. One of the nerfs that they're hurting, named Lug, is basically named after the Lego user groups, the Lugs. So that was really cool. Yessi Scala is the full name of Yessi, and that's a reference to a defunct vintage Lego line that focused on a dress-up doll collection, originally released in 1979. I had not realized Legos have been around that long. So they're as old as I am. I'm not a big Lego. I kind of was, but then I got out of it, and I always wanted to get back into it. But it's one of those things where there's just so much, and you got to pick something, and I just can't do it all. Um, Darth Jar Jar being one of the obvious big Easter eggs with the Falcon, um, or the all of the fans kind of theories, when the Phantom Menace and the prequels came out, with Darth Jar Jar, or um, Sith Jar Jar being behind the mastermind of everything, the Phantom Sith, the Phantom Jar Jar, all that good stuff. They have the Dark Falcon, so it's a black Falcon, which I really love. A lot of people love the the cool vehicles and the differences. And I've heard a lot of people say that they would love to have the Lego Rebuild the Galaxy versions of these figures, and I'm sure that's going to catch on. That's just going to be a big old merchandise um, craze, I'm sure. But you got Darth Ray showing up, you got Darth Nubs, um, just all sorts of Darth Hammerhead, um, who previously appeared in Lego Star Wars: The Yoda Chronicles, and I don't remember that, so I'm gonna have to like go back and watch that again. It is on Disney Plus as well. And then there is one that I didn't know the reference to, honestly, but it's Darth Jim, the Jawa, who is based off of a character initially created by Rebuild the Galaxy's director Chris Buckley for his early 2000 Wizards of the Coast RPG campaign. So that's a big deep cut there if you are a Wizards of the Coast campaign Star Wars fan. You would probably may have gotten that or may not have seen that. So, but a lot of fun with that one. Um, what other ones do we got here? Anything else before I keep going there? Um, you got a little bit of Mix Up, which was one of their promotional. um, I'm looking at the Ewok bounty hunters right now. I love them. I love how the Ewok bounty hunters, so they're in the Y wings, and they have like on the edge of the Y wings they have like the hand gliders, which is so much fun. But love it. And then of course C-3PO shows up in the Royal Naboo cruiser, and it's yellow, it's gold, and then C-3PO bounty hunter. I can't believe that R2D2 was not somehow in there. I don't know, but anyway, In a very humorous twist, the Rhodian Greedo is in a relationship with Leia Organa, his Patissa, um, because he shot first, which is hilarious. That whole nod to that "who shot first" sequence, going back and forth as George Lucas kind of changed that scene throughout history. And I even like, so I'm recently playing Lego Star Wars Skywalker Chronicles, and I love how you go to Tatooine and you see the stormtroopers and they're actually investigating who shot first, and it ends up becoming a tie because everybody that you ask, you got 3 people that say the Han shots first, 3 people say Greedo shot first, and it's kind of like, oh well, I guess we'll never know. So it's always going to be going back and forth, right? Uh, and Greedo actually is wearing Han's wardrobe, which is kind of a nod to Lando wearing Han's clothing at the end of Empire Strikes Back, which is always funny that Lando kind of stole Han's clothes. It's also funny that they're the same size, but anyway. And we'll get to another part of that, which is one of my favorite Easter eggs. But my favorite Easter eggs, so let's see here. And this one actually I didn't know about, but now I love it. Now that I found out about this, is this one here. This one I think is hilarious. But this is the battle droids, and I caught this scene, but I didn't catch the figures on the holotable. So you have to really, and honestly, I heard basically you had to pause it and kind of like frame by frame it to notice this, and that's probably why I didn't, because I do not have the time to do that. Hats off to the people that do have the time to do that. But the battle droids here, playing Dejarik, and this version of the Dejarik chessboard is kind of funny because instead of those classic creatures, you got a bunch of other different creatures. So you have a Rancor on there, you have a Gundark, which we got to see a lot of Gundarks in the Clone Wars. Looking at Bib Fortuna, fishing off the Mos Eisley Cantina Oasis. A Nerf is on there. Nerfs have become really big with the whole Nerf herder thing with Young Jedi Adventures, and now here in the Lego Star Wars Galaxy, a Lugga Beast from the Force Awakens, and apparently in there is the skeleton of Uncle Owen Lars, which is hilarious. And you can't really see by the frame. I love oh my gosh, I love the pod race scene with Luke and Max Rebo. It's just so great seeing. It's so fun, so much fun. And Sig's like mouth dropped because he's just like, that's Luke Skywalker, because he's basically a con artist. Yeah, not much to it, but no, that has to be my 5th favorite moment of Lego Star Wars is that, now that I know what it is, that's just so brilliant. I'm looking at it, and it's like a little skeleton guy, and I guess it's supposed to be Owen Lars. You can't tell. I don't think. I don't know if there's anything that identifies him as Owen Lars, but apparently that's who it's supposed to be. So kind of funny, kind of mean, but it's great. My 4th favorite Easter egg. Again, I didn't notice all of these in the cantina until rewatching it. And I'm actually watching the scene right now. First of all, I love that, he goes up to Dr. Avazan and Pondo Baba, and he's like, he likes you and I like you. Like, they're, instead of he doesn't like you very much, they like him. They like the people. So it's funny. That's a good one. I love how Luke's is like denial of the Force. So yeah, so the cantina sequence is really fun. They just told Luke what's happened in the real universe. So I love the Lego series is just fantastic. The rundown of the sequels by Luke Skywalker. So fun. Um, which I have to tell you, one of my other favorite playing the Skywalker saga. Again, one of my favorite things is the end of Force Awakens. The story mode where you go up the mountain on Octo and Rey sees Luke Skywalker, and then the character turns around and it's Porgs standing on each other with a cape. Gotta love it. But anyway, a lot of familiar faces in the Mos Eisley Cantina. You got the Garandin from A New Hope. Zori Bliss is in there, that was a great nod to the Rise of Skywalker. Love that character, Zori Bliss, one of the great characters. IG-88's in there. Just saw him. So fun seeing the characters in there. Them drinking on some blue milk out of the carton, which is hilarious. It's just, Gamorrean guards in there. I love the cantina scene. This cantina scene is so much fun. Darth Maul in there. That's well, Maul is in there, so don't. That's one of my favorite Easter eggs, though. So we'll stop talking about that. Also, there is a yellow and red astromech droid, which I didn't catch the first time, as they're walking in there. But the yellow and red astromech droid, which is funny because they don't like droids in there. I guess they love droids in here. So anyway, and then they have the name of that droid. It's L3GO, so Lego, and it has the colors of the Lego logo, so yellow and red. So cool little Easter egg there with that one. Love that. Darth Ray. So again, seeing Maul in there, that's another one of my favorites. This is in my top 3. Is the Maul character, because the Maul character ends up being a good guy, and you don't know that at first. Sig sees Maul. He's like, no, he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. Don't trust him. Don't trust him. And then Maul shows up at the end, and he basically reveals that he is with the Rebel Alliance, which is fantastic. And we also see him in the cantina when he kind of breaks out his look. First, he looks kind of sinister with the black cape, but then he's showing off his Lando outfit, like Solo version Lando outfit, the yellow shirt and all that. But if you didn't realize, that's another cameo of another voice. It is Sam Witwer, returning as Maul from the Clone Wars series. Sam Witwer, great guy. And again, shopping in Lando's closet. Everybody's borrowing everybody's clothes. Greedo's borrowing Han's clothes. Maul's borrowing Lando's clothes. So, and again, more characters that kind of showed up in their character voice acting from the Clone Wars. Phil Lamar returned as Kit Fisto, and T.C. Carson returned to voice Mace Windu as well, in their evil, imprisoned counterparts in the series. The droid's name is Servo. That's right. I forgot. One of my favorite cameos. So great. Here's Darth. Yeah, okay. Darth Jar Jar. What a great series. Anyway, on to my top 2. So going back to the Greedo being kind of Han Solo and the smuggler, Greedo actually has a version of Slave One, but it looks fantastic because it looks like Greedo. It looks like a Rhodian. It's so great. A great paint scheme, slightly different because Slave One did have that green to it, kind of that green red camo paint job, but 2 very prominent antennas, which make the look just like Greedo. So fantastic. I'm sure everybody's going to want that version of that ship. It looks Looks amazing. So that is my number 2. And then, of course, my number 1 Easter egg is this little guy, Darth Nubs. Darth Nubs with the yellow eyes. The yellow eyes and the red saber, looking all spooky. But I love that battle. But anyway, a little synopsis of the show if you haven't watched it yet. Basically, there's a Jedi temple that's hidden with a cornerstone to the galaxy. And they stumble across Sig and Dev stumble across this in the in Finessa, and Dev kind of they kind of decide to pull the stone out because Dev really wants it because it's shiny and fantastic and probably could get him a lot of credits. They could get him off of Finessa to explore the galaxy because that's what he's all about. And once he pulls it, everything goes crazy. And then that's when the galaxy is all rebuilt. Jedi Bob explains that to them, basically that cornerstone is the makeup of the galaxy. And it's happened before. Once we kind of realized going through the series, there's no way of getting the original galaxy back. Dev kind of has a turn for the good side a little bit at the end of the fourth episode, but seems like Darth Tico and Darth Rey are still in full effect and full force. They do rebuild the temple, the hidden temple with the cornerstone, on a different planet. I can't remember which planet they ended up building it on. But we end up seeing at the very end the Mandalorian coming in with an evil Mandalorian, an evil Din Djarin with an evil Grogu, it looks like, are going to be in the next episodes whenever we get them. It didn't say anything about any more episodes coming or when they're coming. We haven't found out yet, but hopefully we'll get some of those or some of that news soon. Speaking of Lego, and I totally forgot to grab a picture of this, but so Lego comes out with some really cool Ultimate Collectors series, and they have a new set that's due to come out that just looks fantastic. And I'm just going to pull it up here, and I'll just go ahead and share it straight from the screen here. But it just looks fantastic. And it is the Jabba sail barge. It has been revealed by Lego. Huge sail barge with how many characters is on this thing? 11 characters. I mean, you got Jabba, you got C-3PO, you got Bib Fortuna, you got Klaatu, looks like. You got Max Rebo, you got Barada, you got Princess Leia, Huttslayer Leia, Gamorrean Guard. Looks like Lando, maybe. Is that Lando in the possibly Lando, or it could be a different character. And then R2-D2 with his little serving tray, and then Salacious Crumb. So that's 11, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's all 11 characters with Jabba's sail barge there. It just looks fantastic. I mean, looks amazing. Anyway, you can pre-order the new Lego Star Wars Jabba sail barge now. It is available October 6th, and then on sale to Lego insiders at lego.com October 3rd. I think the price tag's pretty hefty. It is 3,942 pieces, 30 inches long, and intended for displayability and playability. In the kitchen, there's recipes for delicious foods like womp rat stew. Um, and lots of Easter eggs on it, apparently. The price tag, I can't remember what I think I looked it up online. I can't remember what it was now. Um, okay, I got some of these characters wrong. I guess it's the names of the characters. Um, Cathaba, Visum, and Wolf. Visum and Wolf have never been given the Lego treatment. I don't know which ones are which though, but that must be the three thing. That one, that one, and that one. So I was wrong. It's not Klaatu or Baraba. But looks amazing though. Looks amazing. Wish I could another look at it there. Kind of a front look there. Remember, it's 25 years of Lego. 25 years of Lego Star Wars. Kind of a good look on the inside of the sail barge. There's, I guess that's Jabba's little throne area in the barge. Cool little things everywhere. Fantastic. Looks amazing. I wish I could afford it. Let's see. Let's go see how much it is. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure it's on their site. You go look at it right now. $500. $499. $499. $499 is the price tag, which I just don't have the credits for that. But let me get rid of this because we're not. Hide that again. Yeah. So totally too much credits in my book. But for those of you that love Star Wars, and we have a fun little bit of news from the Hollywood. So we know the Hollywood Walk of Fame, right? Hollywood Walk of Fame. Ewan McGregor, Mr. Ewan McGregor, got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame most recently. Again, I apologize for not having a lot of these. I didn't know if I was going to be going live tonight because it was kind of a crazy day. But Mr. Ewan McGregor. Oof. There we go. Mr. Ewan McGregor is honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Hayden Christensen spoke at the ceremony, and yeah, Ewan McGregor, 25 years as Obi-Wan Kenobi. So he is the most current of 2,789. Or that's his number. It's just a few feet away from Carrie Fisher's, which is amazing. That one, Ewan McGregor, such a great character portrayal of Obi-Wan Kenobi, is right near the Princess Leia. Probably the fan favorite from the prequels. I know he's probably my favorite from the prequels, honestly. Just so much. He has been a fan of Star Wars since he was little, and to be able to be a part of the galaxy far, far away, so honored of that. And been in so many other amazing films as well. So, but reprising that role of Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, but just has done an amazing collection of works. Has been in a lot of my favorite movies. Anything really he's in, I always enjoy watching. So Ewan McGregor, congratulations on getting your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That is going to be it for me tonight, I believe. So I hope everybody is having a great, fantastic week. Remember, you can see me again tomorrow on my YouTube channel. Not long ago in this galaxy, I will be doing that again tomorrow. Another little feature of Star Wars history. And until that time, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and like this. If you like this program, go ahead and leave in your comments your favorite Easter egg from Rebuild the Galaxy, since I didn't get a lot tonight. But I thank anyone who did join in tonight, and thank you for watching later. Subscribe to this channel, hit those notifications. That way you can see me when we go live, talk about Star Wars each and every week. Until next time, watch some Star Wars, listen to some Star Wars, play some Star Wars, read some Star Wars, do something Star Wars today. But most importantly, remember, may the stars light your way. Have a great night, everyone.